The man suddenly discovered an easy way to make money. All he had to do was pretend to be blind. Not only could he sit at the temple gate and beg openly, earning 3 times what others made, but kind-hearted people would even help him cross the street. He could even live rent-free in government-provided housing. Yet this wasn't the limit of his schemes. He also used his identity as a pianist to play in people's homes, because no one would suspect a blind man. Thus, he often spied on the private lives of many female homeowners. Little did he know that feigning blindness would become his greatest regret. One day, as usual, he went to perform for the wife of a wealthy man celebrating her birthday. Yet when the door opened, the woman seemed reluctant to let him in, claiming he might have mistaken the time. But Carl had already received the wealthy man's deposit, with the final payment due after the performance. He was certain he hadn't misremembered. As they argued, the commotion drew the attention of the elderly neighbor. The woman, seemingly unwilling to attract the neighbor's notice, had no choice but to let him in. After confirming Carl was genuinely blind, she finally allowed him to play the piano. Yet, barely had he begun, when he was startled by the scene before him. A corpse lay sprawled in the living room. Carl finally understood why the woman had been reluctant to let him in, but now he couldn't show his panic. He made an excuse to use the restroom, passing through the living room, to appear more convincingly blind. Carl deliberately stepped in the spilled red wine. He thought the restroom might calm him, but it turned out to be the most terrifying place. The killer was hiding behind him, gun in hand. Carl froze, afraid to breathe, fearing any slip-up would seal his fate. Fortunately, his bladder was sufficiently full to avoid arousing suspicion. Only upon returning through the living room did Carl recognize the body as the wealthy man himself. Though terror gripped his heart, he forced himself to continue playing the piano with feigned composure. Meanwhile, the woman beside him pretended to contact the tycoon, claiming he'd arrive in 10 minutes. Then, right in front of Carl, they brazenly began disposing of the body. Before long, the man stuffed the corpse into a suitcase, preparing to haul it away and destroy all evidence. The tycoon's wife, Sago, deliberately walked to the doorway to create the illusion of welcoming him home. Sago then played a recording of the tycoon's voice, pretending to converse with her husband before Carl. But after a few sentences, she claimed he had urgent business to attend to. The man donned the tycoon's clothes, dragged the suitcase, and left the house. After exiting the residence, Carl didn't return home. Instead, he sat by the roadside, debating whether to call the police. For the tycoon wasn't just a well-respected local figure, but also a generous patron who always tipped Carl lavishly whenever he visited the bar where Carl performed. Never in his wildest dreams did Carl imagine that the man he'd chatted with yesterday would be murdered by his own wife today. Perhaps it was fate pointing him in the right direction. A remark from the lottery lady nearby sealed his resolve.
काम करो ना, जरा किसी भी एक टिकट पे हाथ रख दो ना, सुना अंधे के साथ भगवान होता है.
After selecting his lottery numbers, Carl made up his mind to head to the police station to seek justice for the tycoon.